in terms of the time taken for you to, so to speak, launch or lodge a complaint with the bank, if you have a complaint as it relates to the transactions, there's a window of 60 days by which you should do so. Otherwise, the transactions are deemed, if you fail to do so, the transactions are deemed to be correct or legitimate. However, it's quite interesting that we are faced with a situation where transactions dating back, it would appear, as far back in some instances, 3 years. We only have 60 days to launch a complaint, but the bank can go back as far as 3 years. That's questionable. I just thought I would let that one sink in for a bit. But we want to hear from you. I know a number of you have questions. At the same time, we have our, I call them our opening batters. I know they are here. I don't know if they wish to say anything, but there's anyone who wishes, the mics, we have some mics on the floor, but if anyone wishes, of course, to raise a question or comment or even speak to their experience. And by the way, I have heard a number of real heart-wrenching stories. And that's what prompted me to get involved. I see someone here signaling me. Yeah, there's a mic.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really glad to see so many people that are out this evening. And I know some people have felt a bit uncomfortable about coming to the forefront. I'm a public servant, and initially that was one of the things that came to mind for me. And I will say that the dynamic trio, as I'm calling them, Tara, Nuska, and Militia, have actually assisted me to kind of stay in the background with some of that. But tonight, I really wanted to be able to address some of the things that were said by Republic Bank that are so, they're disingenuous in the communication that they've given. Because on the Saturday, I received the email, because I'm a person who regularly looks at my emails. And when I saw the email, initially I thought it was a spam, because I had received something before, and I went to Republic Bank, and I said, well, what is this? It looks like spam to me, and they said, oh no, there's a series of things going out, it's not from us. So I thought, okay, in relation to this, let me email them the same day, because I was ringing the number that they had in the email that they sent. There was no response. The 498 number, whatever it is, I can't remember at the moment. But my email is not as eloquent as some of the other correspondence that people have read today. But I said that I'm most perturbed by the information. The bank's apparent delay and apology for this inconvenience is not sufficient at this time. At least 2 of the transactions I can see would have been conducted in 2022 October. This cannot just be seen as a delay. This is tantamount to negligence on the bank's part. I cannot have these funds deducted from my account at this time, as I can ill afford to do so. Based on the bank's error, we will need to come to some other agreement to rectify this unfortunate, disconcerting, unacceptable situation. I will present myself in person to the bank in Anguilla to speak with the agent officer responsible for this matter. Now that was Monday. I was still very distressed. I wrote another email, I'll now, and then I called and I spoke to someone in Trinidad, and I expressed myself then, stating again that I would come into the bank on the Monday. Monday morning, I felt like I opened Republic Bank because I was the first person there. There was no staff member, nothing. I was sitting in my car waiting for that door to be opened. And at 8 o'clock, sorry for the woman who was on the front line, the customer service. I said, can I speak to someone in customer? I felt that she had been pushed into the lion's den and she could ill manage manage that situation. And at that point, I realized I was getting a little irate, and I said to her, I'm apologizing to you. So can I speak to your supervisor? Up to this day, I don't know what the name of the woman was who came out, and I explained to her my particular situation, because I knew that the money was going to be coming out on the Monday. And her response was so disrespectful, in person as in physically, but that day I wanted to push my hand through that glass and pull her out to make her feel exactly what I felt all weekend, not being able to sleep because I didn't understand what was going on. And no sooner as I started to raise my voice, then other people started to come. I remember Anushka coming over, another woman, I'm calling people's names, I hope they don't mind, coming over, and there was this other Me too. And that's how we were in the bank. And nobody at that time said to me, here's a solution. And you see, my email talked about us talking about this. So what they're saying now is not true. And up to a day like today, nobody has responded to my email. And that's the disrespect I can't deal with.
Thank you for Angelina. Everything she said. Haven't proven, they haven't substantiated their case. These monies did not come out, or if they came out, they were put back in. I went to the bank, I got a statement. All it was a list of debits. It was not a statement. And when I looked at what they gave me, and I looked at first of all, what they gave me and what the email said were two different things. So when I compared that against the list of debits, it wasn't adding up. As the old people say, the math wasn't mathin'. So I tried to speak to somebody at the bank, and again, they pushed the junior staff out front, and the fellow's telling me, oh, well, can't you see? I'm like, no, I can't see, and what you're telling me is not true. And he's just like trying to get me out of his way to get to the next person. He tells me, okay, someone's gonna call and set up a meeting so that you can get a no-interest loan that you have to pay back in a year. I said, why am I paying for my own money? And why did it take you 3 years to figure out your problem, but back in a year? And then, as we were talking in the chat and whatnot, somebody pointed, it might have been you, Tara, who was saying that, who pointed out the terms and conditions of our agreement with the bank. And it or technical glitch, they are liable. So why are we still having an argument? They have already said, this is the case. Why are they reneging on that agreement? And I guess my question is, to my mind, we have a civil suit. I mean, they are not abiding by their contracts. So what is our next step?
Thank you for your contribution, and that is why we are here, to hear from you all and determine what the next step will be. Anyone else want to share their story? Remember, it's your forum, your voice counts. Does anyone care to share if they have taken the loan to get their funds back? Okay, has anyone seen the loan agreement? Do you care to share? Please come.
Eric and King here with them, and I can't get a Just bring it up.
While she pulls up that information, I just want to reiterate as well that that particular clause that was referred to, that in the petition letter that went to the bank, which Bonnie just mentioned as well. But here's the interesting aspect of it. And I just thought I'll say it once more. You will not be repeat, you will not be liable for losses in the following circumstances: technical problems and other system malfunctions. That is from the, if I should call it, the Constitution of the Republic Bank. That is a service agreement that they have outlined. So I don't know if the customer wants to come forward now, could go to and share with us that experience.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Perfect. So, on the 15th February, I checked my account and I saw multiple transactions. Well, a bit of transactions. So, I went to the bank. I did not get no call, no email, nothing. So I went to the bank and I asked the customer service, can you explain to me, I saw my account debited of this amount. Can you tell me what is this transaction for? She advised me that, this transaction, they were from 2021 when we paid the merchandise on your behalf and we did not take the money from your account. I went ahead and I say, I had the money in my account. I did not tell you to pay on my behalf. I have my money. I don't need you to pay on my behalf. She advised, can I speak to the manager? I've been waiting there for over 40 minutes. No manager came out. She brought her supervisor. I speak to the supervisor and I showed her my account. She printed to me some transactions that were made on a state and Disney and Orlando, and I was not there. This was February. Yes. Okay, on February. So I advised her that I can show you my passport. I was not even in Anguilla or the States. She told me, okay, let me check. We will call you back. We have a lot of customer because that was the 15th February. There's a lot of customer with hit as well. So I went home. I waited for a call. 2, 3, 4, no call. The next day, I went as well to the bank and I say, hey, I need to know where my money gone because you're showing me, and I took the picture. By the way, the supervisor did not saw the picture. I took the picture. So she brought to me a different paper with different transactions. She say, this is your transaction were made online. And I printed the picture that I have from before. I say, okay. She say, who gave you this paperwork? I say, nobody gave it to me. So they were looking to each other, like, who gave her that paper? I say, nobody gave it to me. I took the picture because I don't know none of this transaction about, like all the transaction all over the world, which is not mine. Okay, so 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, no call, no email, no nothing. I was just been waiting. So February 29, before February 29, maybe a week before, I saw a hold on my account, like hold on the account. So I went ahead back to the bank and I asked, what is this hold for again? She advised, again, there is another transactions were in 2021, and when we pay again the merchandise and this and that, I say I need the hold to be off from my account because this money I need it for my mom. So you need to take the hold immediately. So I tell her, well, I will not leave the bank until I speak to the manager or supervisor. So she advised me that the manager cannot come down. She gave me the call, and I spoke to Miss Berry, I believe, on the phone. I told her the situation. She advised, okay, we will offer you a loan of 1 year, and the lady will give it to you, and once you agree, then we will take off the hold from your card. So they gave me the paperwork. I did sign it because I needed that money that week, right? This was February. Yes. So I did sign, and the next month, did not take any, like, it was the 8th of the month, so did not take no transaction from my, it was my money in my account, but it didn't take no loan or nothing. 29, I removed my money from for the bank. I removed everything. Then on the on the 29, which is when everybody again hit the second one, they put my account. That's April now. The 29 April, I receive again list of transaction, which is they put my account and a negative. It's a huge amount in a negative, like crazy. Exactly, yeah, must be. So yes, so that's, I did not went to the bank. That's when we went to the march, and I just can't bother anymore to go to them because they're not giving us any answer. All what they're saying is, oh, some bank issue that happened in 2021 when we paid the merchandise on your behalf. I did not ask you to pay for me. No email, no call, no nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, same story, and we're here.
Now, something that is really mind-boggling with that presentation is that she referred to her transactions or the alerts for her going back to February. She got. All right. Okay.
All right. So they called me back, and the guy advised, "Hey, I just calling in to let you know that we will need a job letter, and are you working on like this department and this and that? Because we would like to offer you a 1-year loan to pay for your overdraft because your account is overdraft." My answer was, "You took the money. I think you have to pay yourself." And I hung up the phone. Sorry.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Yes, I'm one of the persons that got robbed, you know, and I wouldn't say robbed, got raped. So I think I will need a lawyer to really sue for that part, you know. And based on the fact, when I went in to the bank and asked the question, it was like a poetry affair. It's like everyone rehearsed the statement, you know, and it was like we're in Hollywood. So I asked the question. I got statements that I was in the USA, dated back 2022, Burlington Coat Factory. I remember that event. I bought a jacket because it was cold in December. And I saw it on my phone twice. Why should I go to Burlington Coat Factory to buy the same jacket twice? You know? That means it was damn cold. Excuse my language. You know? So I said, this is crazy. Then I saw some other stuff, St. Martin. I said, whoa, that's crazy. I wasn't even there then. You know? So I asked the question, and the same thing, rehearse again, poetry. You could come in and you sign and you get a loan, free discount and this blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, what I'm asking, you're a bank. You're in charge of my affairs, right? You gave me a card to use. I put my money there. Basically, month by month, you have to do a tally. Where's your accountant? Where's your IT representative to say you have a glitch in the system? You know, all of us here work for different entities. We have IT personnel in different entities. And if you have a glitch, they're the ones to bring it up and say, we have a glitch. How much hours it takes to have a glitch? 2 years? 3 years? You know? And then you just got to sweep someone's account dry. You don't know what family they have to feed. You don't know who is in the hospital. You know? You don't know who parents they have to care for, who elderly, who's out on operation, who's on a dying table trying to stay alive. You know? And you have many stories going around. And 99.999% is true. You have someone lose their life just by going into the bank, and the next day they fall dead. You know? Who gonna pay for that? You know, what you gonna say to the family? You know? Those pregnant persons out there that still need money. What about the kids going to school? Some of us are here, we're just living off of thin air. You know, thanks for the 3 ladies that came out and the balance that joined in that's supposed to cause, because basically some of us didn't get hit. I got hit, but remember, those that didn't get hit, we the ones that get hit have to support those ones that didn't get hit. So we need that support all around. It's not about those that get hit. We need to support those that in that pain. Some of us can't face that pain alone. I have to be talking to people that go through it day by day. My wallet was left with $300 that day. Thank God I have an account at another bank. Suppose I didn't. What would have happened? I gave one of my workers $50 the other day, and I left back with $20 in my wallet just to help buy water, because they got hit too. If you're saying that the money didn't come off, and we as people, all of us are accountants, right? If we travel, we're making sure we're traveling with enough money. And we gotta always check to make sure if we buy a shoe, we gotta check what left back. And if that come off, and you tell me the money go back, and you haven't seen it, where the money went, who you paying for, who you taking off the money from us, poor people in Anguilla, to pay for your mistakes, who you gonna blame? We have a civil march that day. We come out peacefully, and you tell me, as a bank manager, you couldn't approach us properly with respect to receive a letter? You send one of us in the forefront to take the bullet? Mind you, I said take the bullet, because basically it's like you're killing us. And right now, we're at a survival stage. And if we don't come together as Anguillians, as Caribbean nationals, we got to left in the ways. And if we left in the ways, I don't know what can do. What can we do? But I'm urging everyone here to push on. This battle just been started, and I'm supporting the cause all the way. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. So I did receive the beautiful email. I would say it was beautiful because it was quite beautiful with all my transactions and everything. When I did call Trinidad, Trinidad said to me, you have to visit your branch. I started to say the Our Father prayer because I got really upset. It's 2 things you don't mess with, my children and my money. And Melisha could tell you I always work for my muscle. So you don't mess with my money. Went into the branch before I went over to customer service. I decided I am going to take off my money first before I speak to anybody, but they had a better plan than me. They put my money on hold. I watched that young lady say to me, I'll be right back. She went over to the corner to her managers. They kikied and laughed. I said, okay then. They put my money on hold. I went over to customer service. And I'm so sorry, I'm trembling because of how upset I am. And I went over to customer service, and I said to her, you don't make enough money to deal with me. I'm so sorry to disrespect you in that way, but you need to find your manager. So what happened, the supervisor heard my voice And she said to me, you need to calm down. I said, I'm sorry, calm down? You don't play with people's money, first of all. You don't tell me to calm down, because if you was on my side of the fence, you would not be calming down. You would be in here killing me for your money. She said, but Miss Romney, we can't please you. I said, please me how? I didn't ask you to please me. I asked you to put back what is mine. I didn't ask you to do anything else for me. So I said, don't let me come out for you because I'm from Blunt Point. So she said to me that someone else shouted out in the line, yeah, she's from Blunt Point for true. And I said, that's okay, I can represent myself. So I left the bank with Angelique, Cheryl, and some other persons. We decided we were going by hammer. We went by hammer, we exposed the story, and we let persons know this is not a scam. Check your emails, check your accounts. This is a problem right here. We then proceeded from there. We visit different law firms and get different advice and everything like that. I didn't stop. We end up by the ECCB. We then end up from ECCB back to the bank, and I had the pleasure of meeting Marsha and Miss Barry. And when I went into that office with Marsha and Miss Barry, and I know Tara gonna laugh, but I would not say the words I said. They walked me into a room. I'm standing in front of Darren, and those two ladies is in the corner of me. And they said, but Miss Romney, you're outside telling people don't sign. I said, what's your job description? Is it gossip? What I would like to tell you is, I told people they should put 2 containers and, okay. So we proceeded from there. She said to me again, but we can't please you. I said, how is that? You were here a couple months ago and you queried a charge. I said, yes, because it's my money. A tire shop charge I did in September that got posted in February 15th, the same time Gislin got hit. So I said to them, so you trying to tell me, I suggested an email, I suggested that you all call persons in and have a conversation. You're gonna take that magnitude and turn it into thousands of dollars and send people an email? I said, but are you gotta be the 2 biggest dummies? Because I am currently being a dummy right now, so are you gotta be bigger dummies than me, because are you running a bank? And then you wanna tell me no, oh, but we could offer you interest. So I said, I didn't ask you for no additional expenses. How is it that you wanna drop in my pocketbook and tell me what it is that you wanna offer me? I had money on my account. Where is my money? Why is it that you are putting people in additional expenses? Do you know a person's household? Do you know what person is dealing with? What if I had a sick parent somewhere and I had to pay for them? What would you have told me today? Take a loan and get back your money? I said, but if RU wasn't somewhere else, this would have been a different story. And I left them there with that.
Thanks for sharing. Anybody else? You know, as I'm listening, I'm actually comparing the communique from the bank, and they keep saying our loyal customers, you know, grateful for your understanding. But when we listen to what you're saying, it's impossible that they are being inconsiderate. Why is it necessary to sign a bank loan, to get a loan? Why is it? I'm not a customer like I said, right? But I'm just curious, like, why isn't it easy maybe, you know, to suggest that persons come in, work out a payment plan perhaps, although they should absorb most, if not all, the loss? It's crazy.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you for everybody who came out this evening and everybody who came out to the peaceful protest. But I want to encourage, oh, you're back. I want to encourage persons to don't be afraid to come up and speak on the mic. I can take it out? Here we go. This is better. I want to encourage persons to please do not be afraid to use your voice tonight. Because this is one, your money, two, your life and your voice. You all in here are entitled to vote. You all in here are entitled to have an opinion. You all are entitled to live. So whatever money you make from living is the money that's supposed to belong to you. So please don't be afraid of this mic, because this is the only way we're going to get our message across. Now, I found out about this at around 7:30 in the morning in our bar. The customer that said it to me, I picked up my phone, I checked the app, and all I saw was negative. So I put the phone back down, and I have refused to check it since, because we need to have some restraint, and that bank account is not going to be my restraint. The customer didn't even think to check himself. He checked, he was down $2,000. And everybody else who we encountered kept talking about it. Now, we have a chat, as you all know. You all might be a part of this chat. But some of the things that are getting to me is the actual stories, which is why we've asked you here this evening. And the one story that got to me, I'm not sure if the gentleman is in the room, but I will not call his name. Two stories got to me. One got to me a few days ago, and one got to me 5 minutes ago. The story that got to me a couple days ago was the gentleman said he's down 3 months of his salary. No. Anybody in here work for government? I mean to put you on understand. Anybody in here from labor? I'm only asking that. Next question. Has anybody here been laid off? You've never been laid off? Okay, good. I'm asking that question because if you know the government allotted amount for your employer to send you home if you're fired, if your job has been made redundant, if they no longer want you, is how much? So that is what they assume you can live on until you find another young man with exactly what the government said is the approved amount, and that amount is how much is now in his. Let that sink in for a minute. And Republic Bank, you need to let that sit in for a minute. And God give me the faith not to get emotional. I don't think he's in here. I will not call his name. If you're in the chat, please remember our housekeeping rules. He said at 7:37, it is 8:13 now. I have not signed anything with the bank. I have a young baby, responsibilities, and my deficit is more than my salary. I am in a serious predicament, and I need any help I can get. Now, I'd like to knock down young men for not doing the right thing. And when young men do the right thing, we don't praise them enough. Is Republic Bank supposed to tell this young man? And I need people for Republic Bank to start to answer some serious questions. And we, the people, need, because all the statements that I've read, Tara, sorry, I'm really trying to stay. All the statements I've read so far, including the one from the ECCB. We need to do better. We have to stand up for each other. And let me tell you, I met someone today, and strangely enough, she said to me, well, it's cricket in St. Kitts. And when we did the interview with the gentleman from St. Kitts, he said the same thing. But we were so confused because we know the Anguillians are more calmer individuals. Not when it comes to our other Caribbean islands that are more aggressive than us, are quietly sleeping. So it goes to show, my mantra is, you don't mess with my Anushka, you don't mess with my money, my mother, and what? And my children. Okay? I had missed that one, Van Bun, and your land. Opportunity. There's lots and lots and lots of other stories in this chat. But please, if y'all need me to walk around with this mic, I will do so. I could see I come straight from work. So, yes. Come, this young lady has a lovely story.
Good evening, everybody. I got the email when I was in St. Martin for the weekend. I saw it, I looked at it, I said, this gotta be spam. I went up, checked the email, I said, okay, let me just call my mother. I almost passed out when I saw it. Because it was about $5,000 US. I almost passed out. I said, Ma, if this true, I'm gonna have to drop out of school but to pay these people back. So, here what I did. I transferred the money that I had on the account to my mother's account. I transferred it to my mother's account to say, okay, let me do this on my own terms. I will pay you as much as I can, not you take off all of my money. So my mom went to dry it off, and they swiped, when she stood up at the front counter, they swiped $3,000 while she was standing there. It was on her account when she got there. And then when she asked to dry it off, it was $0. Gone. Even though they're saying they're offering loans to pay this, they took all the money at once. So I said, okay, they took almost all of the money already. Let me go to customer service and see how much more I owe them. Let me try to pay it off, because I was nervous. My salary goes there. I'm nervous. Let me go and pay it off. So I went over there, asked them how much more I have for them. They told me about $1,800 US more. I said, okay, let me see if I can pay this off. And that's what I did. I paid it off. Signed, paid it off. That was it. About 2 days later, I saw another negative balance. So I said, okay, Ma, we're going to go back up in this bank today, but today I'm really upset because I paid it off. You told me, okay, your balance is clear, that's it. Went back in there, I asked what it is. They started looking a little frazzled, went around trying to figure out what it is, and then somebody came back and said, okay, we separated the charges. We took the US ones out first, and now the EC ones are being posted to your account. Thankfully, it was not much. Because the last time I was there, I said, you know what? Close all these accounts right now. I paid it off, close it. It had one last account there that had a charge pending from something I ordered, so that one could not close, but I signed for it to close from that same day. And then the negative appeared again. So I went to them and I said, okay, if I pay this last EC charge off today, how am I to be sure tomorrow I'm not going to have another charge? Because the last time I was here, you told me I paid off my balance. She said, well, I say, can the computer show you that I have covered everything you sent me in that email? She said, well, no. And then the person standing up there over her said, well, we would need the technical team to do that. I said, well, miss, I don't work for this bank. And I am not going to be walking to come here and pay y'all every 2 weeks. So I don't care if that computer smart enough to do this, but somebody's going to have to sit on here manually and figure out if I pay every single charge that y'all say owe you. So she made the little customer service girl sit there and back-check every single charge, and then she said, okay, it looks like everything is paid off now. It looks like everything is paid. I said, can you imagine? The system is smart enough to track my money when I sent it to my mother to swipe it off, but it's not smart enough to say that I paid off what I owe you. And then she said the last $100, it was about $190, but I was really upset. So she said, because you signed to close off this account, we would absolve the $190. they would absorb the $190 because you signed prior to it being posted to your account. I said yes, but I thought about it over the weekend, and I think I want to keep this account open for minor things. So how does that go? Would you still absorb it, given that it's $190 and I signed it at that time? She said, let me talk to my supervisor, Marsha. So she went to the back, she spoke to her supervisor, and then she came out and said, well, if you're keeping the account, you're going to have to pay for it. I said, okay, no problem. Let it shut down, and then eventually I'll come back and open another one. She said, let me speak to my supervisor. She went back to her supervisor, and she came back and said, I'm very sorry, but if you let the account close, you will never be able to open another Republic Bank account again. I laughed. I said, as in ever again? She said, that's how it appears. So I said, you're going to blacklist me for $190? She said, we're very sorry, but that's how it appears. Pressure, I paid. Yet again, more money that I could not even see the evidence that it came out of my account. So at this point, I'm about $5,000 in deep, paying Republic Bank with scare tactics. You'll never be able to have another account at this bank again. And bear in mind, it's the only international bank. So I'm thinking, this might not be a smart idea to just shut it down completely. So what are you going to do, Ma? Let me look in my purse and take out the last money I got here that I showed up to this bank with and pay it off yet again. For the third time. The first time you swiped it off the account, off of somebody else's account. The second time I came in and paid, you said it's done. And then you posted more, and I had to stand up there again and pay a third time. Well, that's my story with Republic Bank. Sure. A U.S. account. I'm not sure. I am not sure. I'm not sure. She said, and they split them and they charged them on separate days. So they appeared separately. Yes, and those charges were they were Uber charges from the US, but they were in EC. And a debit card. No.
Thank you very much. When I heard her story, I could not understand the banned for life, expelled for life from Republic. And the manager ain't saying nothing. I'm going to somebody who I know has a serious story. And I'm hoping that she tells you the story. I'm coming to you. And I think she know I'm coming to her, but coming to her to tell this story.
Good evening. My story. No, I might bite somebody. Yeah. So, on the 29th, when everybody was hit, I was not. However, I met Anushka at the bank on that day, and she told me to check my account. I did, because I know that every time something happens at this bank, my account gets affected. This time, it has been affected. I mean, now minus the first day when I saw the actual charge, which would have been 2 days after the big outburst, which was the Monday. When I went into my account, it said negative $3,009. Okay? Van one. So the Friday, for some reason, my phone decided to make a transaction. And when I took my phone up again, when I checked my balance, it was now 3,100 plus. I haven't checked it since because I don't want to see. Mind you, it's crazy. However, my dad is in Trinidad doing surgery. So I am at a negative balance. My pay goes to Republic Bank. The Wednesday when I saw it, I said, okay. The Friday when I saw the extra charges, I went straight to the accounts department on my job and I said, listen here, send my money here because Republic will keep their 3,000 minus on my account until they decide they're gonna replenish me because I'm not doing it. Today, my cousin calls and says to me, oh, we're gonna have to be here another month in Trinidad. What am I supposed to do? It is getting worse, and if I don't care who's out there saying that it's, oh, we're doing this because we just want to be seen or whatever the case may be, there are people with personal issues. This is my money that I've worked hard for. Everybody in here, I can imagine something that they have to do with their money. It is not just me, it is not just you. There are people out there, but they're not speaking. I am somebody that but however, I'm trying to stay calm as possible because, yeah. Shaking, literally shaking, and I can't.
Thank you for sharing your story. So, where I think that Mavi put that story in the chat, I think it was almost midnight or something. That night you had it. And when we started to read it, we were like, well, this is really nothing much. And she had to be at a point where, can you imagine your dad being else who was there with him, and her account is affected, his account is affected, and this other person's account is affected. So Republic Bank, if you think that we just out here doing nothing because we got nothing better to do, well, we know Barry. Barry is very colorful, but ooh. So Barry is trying to what's the word again? Exercise some restraint because he has been severely impacted. Oh, today you got it. So Barry was in the bank because the bank did not send his wire. And I said again, there are some young men who we choose to criticize when they do bad, and then there are young men who, when they're trying to do better and start there and all of these good things. And where is Barry's wire? Somewhere floating in Anguilla and Trinidad. Because it wasn't floating between Anguilla and Anguilla. Looking for somebody else. Find out. Ladies and gentlemen, please speak.
It's the same story like them.
Yours is the same story like them? Yeah. I need you to tell your story. I got somebody else coming too, but the reason why I want you to speak is because I was saying that it's just a bunch of people who don't have nothing better to do speaking. There are lots of different facets of people in this mix. There are business people, and I'll go into two more in a minute. And there are regular people, and there are people that I know that you have a story. I need you to speak. I see another person that can come to in a minute.
What do we say?
Exactly what happened to you.
You have to speak, but that's all we No. Okay, most of the transactions that were debited in my account were wise transfer. When I transfer money to my family in the Philippines, I use wise, W-I. So when I saw my account, 4 transactions, 508, 1 to, and then I look at the date, it was July 14, 15, 2023. So when I transfer the money from bank to Wise, then immediately GCash in the Philippines. So in that day, they already received the money. So I said, and it was really my bank, because I always check. So now when I saw it, I said, and why you will send money to my mom using your mom, So, and there's a lot of transactions like Anguilla, government of also are from Anglec. I said, if I don't pay Anglec in one day after, they will disconnect. There's a lot of transactions. So it's like my personal bank is negative. My business account is going there. So immediately I withdrew all the money from my business to pay my overdraft in my personal account. So every day I get the money from the business account that goes to my business every day. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a question. I was wondering if anyone affected the way Jesselyn was affected, which is being hit twice, February and April. And the second one, all right, Doc, I see you. The second question is something that has come to light with respect to mortgages. Has anybody checked their mortgage statements as yet? Okay, we have one person. Has anybody else checked their mortgage history and noticed anything? Okay. You have a mortgage. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad to hear that. Was it in 2022? Conversion, exactly. So what has happened from now that you've said the same thing, and I've seen one or two so far, a lot of people on the outside thinking it's just a debit issue. It's not just a debit issue. That's number one, because if a computer system is glitching, it's not going to glitch just on debit. So let that sink in. Because I've already posted my irregularities with my checks, and I don't need to go over that again. But as of yesterday or 2 days ago, I've seen mortgage statements now where when the switch happened in 2022, I think sometime in the early part of 2022, there are some types of mortgages that are serviced by a debt service account, so it's not an automatic payment to your mortgage. And most people don't know how it's paid. You just go in, you put your mortgage on an account, and it transfers it over. But there are some mortgages where an actual staff member sits and puts it in and applies it to the system, right? So if you print your statement, sometime in 2022, be very vigilant, because there are periods where you're paying into that account, but somebody is sitting at the desk and not applying it to your loan. And then 3 months later, somebody else remembers, oh dear, I should have applied that to your loan. And what they do is they don't post it back to when they ought to have applied it. So your interest is accruing all those 3 months. So when it is applied all on the same day, your balance is the same. I'm not making it up. I have proof. I don't say anything unless I have proof. So I did a post again that upset people, but I think that it's important if you have a loan that you also print your statement. I so use the word system because a system is not selective about what it's going to glitch in, okay? So that's one issue, the mortgages, and what the doctor said is absolutely correct. There are going to be some people that are going to discover that their principal balance, and it happened twice in 2022. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll probably see that the same behavior happens again, where they didn't apply it for about 3 or 4 months, and you didn't know, and it was just sitting in your debt service account, and then they applied it. Now, in the other bank, I know, I do follow a loan of a family member that's there, and sometimes they forget to put it over, but as soon as they remember the next day, they post-date it to when it was supposed to be applied, so the customer never even notices. So I asked the bank worker, well, how is it done in that other bank? And every loans officer has their roster. So you have your loans officer that will know, okay, every 25th I have to apply this. But in this bank, it does, so what these persons are having to do is reconstruct their loan as to what it ought to be so that the end balance isn't affected. Does that make sense, or that's clear as mud? Well, the number one start is if you have a loan print, you'll get a detailed statement. The number two, if you're taking notes, I've never received an email, not in spam, not anywhere. I've been debited on 4 accounts in lots of money, and I still don't know why. I've never gotten a phone call. I've never gotten offered a loan. I'm very nice. And I've written copiously for a copy of my statement, and I have not gotten my statement. So I hired my own lawyer. I'll get it tomorrow, right? What I did get, however, which is very irregularities. Let's assume I don't have a debit issue. I had check irregularities from November 2023. Because I operate a law firm, when I pay you a check on behalf of somebody else, I go into my bank online and I print the check to show that you cashed it. 2022 checks. So I can't find my checks. So you go in and cash my check today, I can't find the check that you have cashed in my online banking. I see that your money came out, but when I get it, they just email me the checks, as in, here you go, right? So I usually would email and say, okay, can I have my checks now, please? And then they send it up to this customer, and then the next person sends me like 5 or 6 PDFs, and then that's how I operate in 2024, okay? And I kept pressing, and I have my emails, and I am angry. For everybody that tells me not to be angry, I wrote to Marsha and I said, what is the problem? Is this a human error? I also said, is this just happening to me? Because I thought I was going crazy. She said, it's a system error. I wrote her back and I said, well, I'm a little uncomfortable with a system error. Dollars. I hold people's money. I transact with people's money. I don't sleep because of that, because of this system error. So I wrote her back and I said, are you telling me this is human error? She never responded. In January, I sent 5 emails to my business manager at the time, who's no longer there. Can you get me these checks? I think he sent them, or maybe he didn't, but they pretty much treat me like a nuisance, right? Because every time I ask, so I stopped asking. I've just accepted that all my checks are gonna be wrong, and I'll find them 2 years from now, okay? Because it looks like the next 2 years, I'll get the next batch. So on the 30th, I haven't been debited yet. On the 29th, I saw my available, all the accounts changed. So by then, Anguilla had already been an uproar. So I was like, something's happening. And just to put a plug for Julie Mango, this is how I found out. A young lady was gonna buy her Julie Mango ticket on the 29th midnight. And then she said, I hope this Julie Mango good because I just logged in my account and I wasn't hit yet and now my account ain't got no money. I say, but let me go check now, girl, midnight. At the turn of midnight, because you know it all clears overnight, I kid you not, I had seen the balance look different the day before, but there were no postings. After midnight, postings, 29, Zemi, Four Seasons, Uber, States, everywhere, Anglic, everything. No email to this date. Yeah, wow. And I watch my accounts like a hawk, so I don't care what nobody says. So I wrote back and I said, well, can I get an email, because I don't know, like, I need to reconcile this, because you've made a lot of errors for me in the past. You've reversed grocery store transactions that were double charged. I want to verify this. I haven't started, because verifying this means I have to go and look at photographs to see if I was in Four Seasons. I have to go check my tickets from American to see if I was in the States. That's how my accountant is going to help me verify. This is not a bank. Huh? I don't have money to hire anybody for that. I have to sue them first and get some money to sue. But the point is, this is not a debit card glitch. Your mortgages are at risk, your checks, if you have businesses. So only when I got to the March, I realized that my own IT manager said, but I've been having this check issue too. And then another hotel said, but I've been having that check issue too. But when you think about it, we don't use checks in our personal life. So a lot of businesses, I'm sure their accountants aren't going to check. They're just going to see the entries. But if you're diligent, it doesn't. So I gave somebody a check 2 days ago, and on the stroke of midnight, I'm up at night just like, okay, let's see what's going to happen to this check now. 2022. And so I can't get these checks until I want to sit down one day. I do it in bulk. So what I started doing now, just so you know, I write the manager on my letterhead every single day. Every single day. And what I've gone a step further to ask her for, because I'm setting up my own case, I wrote her and I said, since you say that this has been rectified, I would like the correct checks to be reflected in my online banking. I want to click and see the correct check. Am I wrong for wanting that? But they can't do it. They can't fix it. So instead, what they did was, the one call I got from the bank was from the one person, the only person in the bank they know I talked to. And you could smile, Miss Lady, because ain't everybody had an answer from the bank. So I saw the number because they know I'm going to answer her cell. And I answered and I say, what I'm sending you to call me for? The police? She said, no, I just calling to see if you had rectified that check problem. I said, you stop right there. I said, somebody is setting you up. How? I said, do you work in IT? No. So how are you going to rectify my problem? I said, the manager that put you to call me, because I don't have to ask you who put you to call me. Did the manager who put you to call me tell you that she's been working on this for me since last November? No. Okay. Did she show you all my emails? You send emails? Oh, but she tell you to call me to ask you if you, I said you're being set up for a lawsuit. She wants you to write me so I could screenshot you, but I said, tell her that you're my child and I ain't gonna screenshot you. I gonna screenshot her. I say I wasn't speaking tonight, but I'm mad. I'm mad because that's not a debit glitch. Maybe you guys have debit glitches. If I owe the money, I'll pay the money. My bigger issue is, what is this error? You're IT guy. What is the error? Stop treating us as fools. What does an error in a banking system mean? Is it fixed? It's not fixed. I do. I have a credit card issue. I have a payment reversal. I went into the States on overdraft. I went to blow down the bank before all of this. I have a minus 2,000 on my credit card that's marked payment reversal, but the lady at the desk said it was reversed somewhere, but it's not in my account because it wasn't off, but it's negative. And it wasn't negative the day before. And I said, does that sound sensible to you?
Just before we go any further, owing to a technical issue, especially for our online, and there are quite a few of them, we're just going to take a pause for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to questions on that, and people are all over in the diaspora. Stay on. Okay, tell those folks you can hear me. Stay on, don't log out. But within 5 minutes, we're gonna have this rectified. We do apologize for the technical issue. Please stay tuned. It's a technical issue.
But the difference is that we are to be fixed.
It will be fixed. And that's what I was just about to say. It will be fixed. It will not cost you anything. and no loan agreement will need to be signed.
There's a lot of us from Plum Point, you know.
No, the particular lady from Blowing Point who said, I just missed her. Oh, I just checking. Last name, yes, we are related. So I just thought I will let that. Folks, we're not finished, so don't leave. We're just trying to get this told, and it's important that we do, in fact, get them. So it's not that we are taking an intermission, we're just trying to rectify the technical issue. By the way, the petitions are going around, so if you wish to have your added, please say Anuska. She has quite a few of the forms with her. Well, Felicia, we've heard quite a bit so far. We are good to go? See? I said 5 minutes, it was less than 3. Back on, I trust that the folks within the diaspora in particular, you could send us a very quick message on WhatsApp to let us know you're getting us now beautifully and clear, live and in living color. We have Clean Stream, we have in Anguilla, and we have Lloyd's Live. We want to say very special thank you to all three, and we are ready to go. So if there are any more folks, we're just going to get over to Felicia.
So we've heard some real stories tonight. The question is, what would you like to see from your bank now?
Okay, so you would like to see what come back?
Okay. Republic Bank has lost the trust of its customers. You have the responsibility of managing and protecting our money, which is our investment to your bank. Once that trust is lost, it can never be regained. But you can make the situation right by fixing our account back to its original state. As a customer, the bank must have the permission to debit or credit my account. This is a violation of our right as a customers. You have literally brought our lives to a screeching halt. You have destroyed our finances, and we are here to seek satisfaction and correction to our financial status in the bank. Thank you.
Very well said. Would anybody like to say what you would like to see next? We all know that we all want our accounts to go back to how they were before. Anything else that you can think of, because we're not just the only thinkers in this room. There are a lot of thinkers in this room, and sometimes things can come out of very unlikely places.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I don't have the sad story. I did get hit, and I got hit pretty hard. The thing about it is I don't do online banking with Republic. My account at Republic is simply a debit card that's attached the account, and when I travel or if I want what I call splurge money, I'll use it. So I put X amount of cash in it, and then I use it. I think it's imperative that we understand that when it's a debit card or a debit account, you have every assurance that the money is there. You put it there. So I placed it there. I'm traveling or I go out to eat or whatever it is, because apparently I gotta go out to eat a lot. And when I swipe the card, it takes a couple seconds. It checks. It goes through the exchange system. It checks my account. It comes back as approved. I eat, approved. I get up. I go about my business. I pay for something, authorization approved. I get the merchandise. They get their money. Done. I have every confidence in my financial institution that you take out your money. That's the system.
So I don't check. It was a very difficult system for me to get on the online banking, and it has been from the beginning. So I don't check. Saturday evening, I got 2 emails around 8 o'clock. I saw the emails come in. I was actually doing emails, and I made a very concerted effort not to open them, because which one of our banking institutions sends emails on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock? This is spam. I'm not answering. A glitch. I am taking my time. I was very cool. I enjoyed my weekend, having all hell broke loose on Monday morning, where I started getting some calls. I think I called Tara Monday afternoon to ask, check my account. I didn't check it. And then the story started coming up. I didn't open the email. Stories started coming up. Some folks reached out. We started having conversations. Forward a week later, I opened the email because I'm like, I have very little money there. It can't be anything. My head, and when I got to about 5,500, I stopped. I was telling in my head, I stopped. I said, okay, no problem. I still can't check my account because I don't do online banking. I have a couple issues. One, did Republic Bank know that there was and didn't tell us? Two, if you didn't know, how could you not? This is the issue that I'm having. Three, how am I supposed to have confidence in you institutions? That's the issue. It's not about making a run on the bank. It's not about closing it. It's about how am really your job. Your job is to safeguard and to protect. So if there's a glitch, and don't get me wrong, we live in a technological world, we understand glitches, we understand mistakes, I get that. But if it's going to take you so long to figure it out, solve it in a weekend. So that bothered me. Then what even bothered me, they did. They waited until the end of the month when there's something psychologically worrying, mentally taxing, when you log into your account and you see it at 0 or minus. It triggers a number of things in you. There was a million ways that it could have been dealt with. You would get your attention. Hold. Come have a conversation with us. If you're scared that there's going to be a run on the bank, a conversation. And I think that is the general consensus throughout the entire island, whether you were hit or not. There was a different way to deal with it. I trust you from a fiscal sense. I can't trust you from a moral sense. I can't trust you from a customer service sense. How are you going to regain the trust? And if you can't, guarding, providing, and supposedly safeguarding the most or one of the most important days of your life, then where do you go from there? And that's the truth. And empathy. There's no understanding. So the mortgage had to be paid, the bills had to be paid, food, wiped it clean, and then using the tactics, well, come in, sign an agreement to take the money back. Man, or put some folks' account on, pardon? It's disheartening. So I have charges going back from. Now, if you know me well, I've decided something in my life stress me. I cannot remember what I ate yesterday. And I'm being truthful. I cannot remember what I ate yesterday. How am I going to verify what happened in 2022 in January when I paid 30 at Andy's? So the same institution that I don't have the confidence in, I'm relying on you to give me the statements for me to verify. Do you understand what the issue? So and there is a glitch in the way how they dealt with the situation. Forget the technical glitch. There's a glitch in the way how they dealt with it. And it's disheartening. And I'm not saying that I have the answers, but understand that this goes a lot deeper and a lot further than what we think. Because the truth is, if you know that you had a problem and you didn't fix it, does that can't fix it?
This transaction is from wait, a comment. Republic, a comment. Hold on. I can see? Okay. The ink gone just like the money. Oh wait, I got a little something up here. She went somewhere and purchased something. I'm more than sure that this is not even a year old. There's no verification. But what we really want to know is, where do we go from here? Because we got an idea where we're going, and it's down the Caribbean islands. But where do you all want us to go? I'll come back to you. From here.
Good night, everyone. I don't want to stand up because I don't like my face to be seen. But this situation is really disheartening for everyone, and I know that there's a lot of emotions involved. I mean, for me, my father called me about it, and he was like, you know, he's hearing this on the radio and stuff, and I'm like, Daddy, don't listen to everything you hear on the radio until I checked my account, because I didn't see the email come in. I got the email, but I didn't see it come in. Interestingly enough, the email came in with my transactions, but my father's name, because his account is tied to my email address. So that's another idea. Came in saying, Courtney, these are your charges, but they were my transactions. For me, what I think would be important, or should have been done in the first place, is they should have called customers in one by one to show you exactly where those transactions were taken off and when they were put back, because I am a checker, chronic. If I spend some, especially my Republic account, because that's my secondary account, not much money goes there regardless, but what I'm gonna do is if I make a transaction so that my current balance is this and my available balance is something else, because I know what's supposed to be coming out. Sometimes it takes a few days before they actually show the transaction in the list, but your available balance changes. What I realize is Anguillians are a bit upset. Some Anguillians are a bit upset that we are speaking out. But if you look around this room, this isn't a bunch of hoodlums. These are intellectual, professional, cordial, wonderful people who work hard for their money. And I feel like it's important. I think that the other islands sat down and took it, but Anguillians are critical thinkers. Anguillians are not just going to sit down and take it. And that's where Republic. So I think at this point, first and foremost, reinstate people's accounts, because the cost of living is already high. People are already struggling. We've been speaking about social issues. You know, we work with social development, and a lot of the issues going on, parents have to work 2 jobs to make ends meet, so they're not able to spend time with their children. There are a lot of social spin-offs from this now because you still don't have the money. We know during COVID, we had a rise in violence and domestic violence and depression and anxiety and all these things because people didn't have the money because they were out of work. And here we are in a situation that can be controlled, a situation that was intentional to put people in this era. So I feel like, first and foremost, they need to reinstate the money. Second of all, we have no issues going into the bank and sitting down and looking, not on April 29th for them to show you a statement, as some people have had that says April 29th, this is when the account was debited. We need to see back in 2022, back in 2021, back in 2023, when was the money taken off and when was the money put back? Why are we hearing a lot of stories with the same establishment from business places that aren't a mom and dad shop? These are places that settle their machines every day. Why are we seeing these establishments over and over for different customers? Show us when it was taken off and show us when it was put back. And from there, I feel like this is a lawsuit. And they need to understand that.
Good night, everyone. My problems with Republic Bank start. I have a mortgage with Republic Bank, and usually what I leave on my account, my debit card account, is my money to pay my mortgage. Usually I just transfer everything to my credit card and I use my credit card. I don't have any issues with my credit card. But what happened to me in February was, okay, I put my mortgage money where it's supposed to be, didn't look at my account again, went about my business, got a call from Republic Bank. I'm like, where's Republic Bank calling me? Oh, your loan is in arrears by 1 month. When can you get it back up to date? I'm like, my loan is in arrears? I put the money on. Why didn't you guys take it off? So go and look at my account, and it wasn't, I think it had like $100 left or something like that on it, but they took off all the money, didn't pay the mortgage on time. The mortgage was supposed to be paid on the 27th. It was never paid. Took off the money, I think it was on the 29th, and then had the nerve to call me and tell me my loan is in arrears. So the only thing I wanted to tell Republic Bank, you can call me to tell me my loan is in arrears, but you cannot call me to tell me you're going to put my debit account in arrears. It's kind of lopsided. And I think the most beneficial thing that Republic can do right now is to reinstate everyone's accounts going back to February, because in February they did it in a smaller scale and you didn't hear about it at all. Because I was like, I wonder if it's only my account, because I'm not hearing anyone say anything. And then when it happened now in April, I find out my coworkers were hit in February too, but they never said anything. So if I have 60 to 30 days to rectify charges on my account, why do you have 2 years to hit my account with charges?
Thank you for sharing your story. And I think over and over I've been saying that this is not a glitch. We need to stop calling this thing a glitch. Well, we're going to keep it as a glitch for the lawsuit, but we ain't going to call it a glitch. This is a human decision. This is a human decision because somebody had to stop your loan payment to jump over to get a deficit. That's not a human, that's not a glitch.
So when it happened in February, I went into the bank. They told me it was a glitch. I said, is your glitch fixed? Is this going to happen to my account again? It should not happen to your account again. Okay, I'm going to watch it. So I was told it wouldn't happen to my account again. And then it happened in April again. So it's come to the point where you can't trust what they're telling you. So I'm thinking the glitch is not fixed, because they told me it was fixed in February and still it's happening in April, months later.
And this is the power of speaking. Because those persons, and there were persons that were hit before February. There were persons that were hit, I think, in 2023, in December of 2023, and had those persons spoken up or said something or raised the alarm somehow, we might not have been here. Somebody put it in there.
Okay, hi. My concern is our regulators. Our regulator is responsible to have a record of the bank every quarter of the year. So I'm trying to understand. Here you have a bank saying they did not take out monies out of people's account for over a period of 3 years, and you did not recognize that that happened. Yes, the profit is there. So I'm trying to understand, as a regulator, if a bank is reporting to you that everything is okay, how come 3 years down the line, it is not? So that is my problem with the bank and our regulators, which is ECCB. So I'm trying to understand that. It is not making any sense. I was also one of the persons that were hit twice, in February and in March. In February, it was just one thing, and then in March, it was the lovely minus. So my trying to understand to the bank and our regulators, the maths is not adding up.
I think one of the things that we also need is to find out who regulating the regulator. Because this regulator in, what did I say, the math ain't mathing? The regulator ain't regulating. There we go.
Personally, I've been a customer, a loyal customer of Scotiabank for many years. Turned into a Republic, served me well. I have a policy when it comes to debit accounts. I don't use their debit card. I've never used their debit card. Yes, I'm an IT professional. Debit cards, to me, because it touches my account personally, I don't trust it. I will use your credit card, but I will not touch a debit card. So I personally was not hit. But seeing that I am a customer, and my fellow customers who bank where I bank and save where I save my hard-earned money got hit. And in the manner in which they were treated, have me hurting. I didn't get hit, but I hurt for those who got hit. I have responsibilities. I have goals set, financial goals. So if I had gotten hit, sorry that, but I strongly believe that this glitch that has been glitching since they say the switchover, and it continues to happen to this day, okay? It has not been resolved, okay? And because it has not been resolved, is another reason why I stand here today to support those who have been hit when it happened and subsequently. And I personally feel, as an IT professional, that since this has not been resolved, tomorrow might be for me, okay? It keeps happening. The glitch has not stopped glitching, okay? Inside the sources at the bank has already said there are more lists to come, okay? Not been hit, like myself, might be hit. Now, if you are conscious, because I work hard, I save my money, I have, sorry to say it, I have withdrawn everything I had that they could possibly take. Because I don't trust the bank. I don't trust it. And the mere fact that you guys got hit without any respect, without any concern for what you have that money stashed away for, and they just took it and now want to force you into taking another loan, which is a commitment out of your hoo-ha to pay when you didn't make any arrangements for it, to me it's unconscionable. Okay, it is unconscionable. So, those who are on the fence or watching on the side because they didn't touch me, your day might be coming tomorrow. Your day might be coming just before Christmas when you save your money to go away, because that glitch is still glitching. They have not resolved it. Why is Tara still seeing checks of way back when today? Okay? Why are people who didn't get hit before still getting hit? Why are your mortgages still not adding up? Your day will come. They just haven't found it yet because they're still investigating the glitch and the system has not been rectified. Protect your money. Protect what you have left. Protect what you have left. Now, going forward, I believe, with all the evidence, as in the contractual evidence on black and white that they make you sign and they publish on the internet and everywhere else, and those brochures that they give you when you sign your loans have all of this information, means that, in my layman view, the bank is very wrong and they're very guilty. And the mere fact that when you go online, you cannot see past 12 months means you cannot verify. Melissa showed you. These slips of paper where you sign after 3 months, you cannot see the ink on it to see the transaction. I think the way forward, I don't know what it's going to take, but this thing needs to go to court. The bank needs to open their books. They're not opening the books for you. The mere fact that they're encountering this issue, and when you go to the bank and you ask, you have to pay for a statement. Ridiculous. That you have to pay for your own statement because you cannot see it online. So you have to ask for your own information. How long it takes, pay the money if you spend the money. Okay. If I had spent it and I could prove I spent it, I will diligently pay you back. But you have to prove to me that I made those charges. Okay? I need to see it. Okay? And check my balances. The bank should open up their portal where you can see back to the conversion to allow persons to go in and verify those and see the transactions. So you can do it in your own time. But this 12-month period is ridiculous. Verified. And unless you can verify it, it's on the bank. It's literally on the bank. So whatever it takes to go forward, I feel that if you force the bank to go in and open their books legally, which I doubt they will do it, because they have no legs to stand on, I feel this needs to go to court.
Thank you very much. We're going to take these last three, and then we're going to start to wrap up. Because
I'm glad to see that group is keeping together. It is a group of people who are affected, a group of people who are not affected, some who were hit very hard, some who were not hit as hard, some who could absorb the blow, and some who could not absorb the blow. And I know that we have some hot-blooded people in here, and we need them both. We need them both to stay together to regulate, because you need to keep feelings, but you need to regulate it, because I feel that this is, as many have said, this is a lot more than one person affected, one transaction, one bank account. We are in a very vulnerable position here as far as banking. We don't have a lot of choice. What message does this and authority to do these things. Some of them may not be behaving like this, but it sends a message. It sends a message to other institutions. If they can get away with it, why not? You're not important enough. Your money, your 5,000, your 3,000 might be everything to you, but it's just numbers to them. And you don't have it to count. But also, what message does it send to our children and to our community if we are not in this for the long haul? Because we need reform. We need to know that when there's an act, when there's a contract, when there are regulations, it's not just for us. It just applies to us. This is supposed to apply to the people who are making all these promises to give us them. Because yes, it's money. And everybody says, it's money. But money represents your time. Time you could be spending with your family, but you have to sacrifice. It represents a lot of things, and we need it. Okay? So that's my contribution here.
I came out today not because I was, sorry, let me change that. Not because I am aware that I have yet been affected. Yeah. I have not been emailed. I have not, I don't have the stories like what most people in here are saying, but I bank at the same institution. So when did it start? Are you sure? And how do we know when it has ended? How do we know that it's only the debit cards or the checks? Because if it's the credit cards, so we are here.
I think it was a PR thing that went bad for them because the announcing of a $1 billion profit was to inspire confidence because we're doing great. They didn't realize while hitting some crazy people in another little small island that usually are quiet just did not work. Small batches, this was the first time this big batch went.
Right, but then some people are seeing the statements coming out. How do you know it's not a duplicate? How do you know it didn't come out before and it's coming out now again and it will come up again? So while other people may bank at the same institution and may not have been affected, I think everybody needs to stand together because this is bigger. This is bigger than what is happening that we are aware of now. It's like a snowball that's rolling down a hill, and we don't know how big this ball is going to be, or a tsunami, as Tara is saying. The next thing is, if I had to pull one positive thing from all of this negative, I would say it brought together people from different sectors, and the main topic is finance. And I think it kind of lends that we need to have not just a financial institution as a bank where we can go and discuss certain things, but possibly areas where people who may be considering going into purchasing something can also seek advice on certain areas other than just going to the bank for a loan. They're giving you a loan that you'll have to pay back. To me, that just don't make no sense. Again, advice is needed on these things, and hopefully, people would be a little bit more vigilant with certain things The next thing is, what are we doing going forward? Putting our money on a bank? Should we be considering other options? Investing differently? Looking into other businesses or turning it around in other ways? I think we have to think forward. And this opens up, it should open up our minds into looking at other avenues and considering other things.
Just a quick question. Anybody ever notice on there with the alerts that you get when you're traveling to the US and you don't have a EC account, you have a US account? Have you been getting alerts that's taking out the money in EC? Sorry?
Just
Okay.
on that. Just on that Amazon story, just in case you're not aware, you do have the option to switch it back to US dollars. Yeah, I know.
No, I'm sorry. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm asking. Do you get
the alert?
Do you get an alert from the bank that they debited it in EC?
I was saying to you, I heard what you said. When that option comes up on Amazon, I make sure I switch it to US and the alerts come in US. No, from the bank. I'm speaking of. From the bank.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
someone
from the bank.
currently just swiped it at Supercenter in Florida, currently as we're speaking in Florida, and it's being alerted in EC here. He does not have an EC account. That's what it does. Okay.
One question that I have been getting from a lot of people that have not been affected, and I know you guys might be getting the same question. Didn't you notice the extra money on your account? But I'm going to tell you why you didn't notice the extra money on your account. Because when you swipe your debit card, it goes into hold. Your balance changes. That hold can stay for 60 days. It could be for $10 now, $50 then, $100 then. Over 2-3 years, $10, $50 adds up. It's on hold for 60 days. It goes off hold, goes back on your account. Who notices $10 going back on their account? Because I don't check my account like that. So that is the evil part about it. Because they made you think the money came off of your account. You're trusting your bank that they took the money because it was on hold. If it's on hold and the merchant didn't call you to say, oh, I didn't get my money, if it's on hold, the merchant collected that money, you're not getting the call, it should not go back on your account. So that is the way all of us got, it's kind of like scammed.
I was about to answer it for you. Hold on. First of all, I don't know where you all find this time, but I don't have it. Where you want me to go? Oh. I don't have it. My day starts at 4 o'clock in the morning and it doesn't end. So if I swipe my card, the ticket comes through, it means it is approved. The bottom of the ticket says approved. 2 seconds after, I get an email saying transaction approved. So who going in your account to go check something that I have 2 forms of confirmation that it has been approved, which means I am doing the bank's job. Your job is to make sure that the transactions are either approved or declined. 1 or 2 things. It's either approved or declined. But we have to wrap up. So I'm going to give this lady the mic in pink so that you can give us your last word.
Good evening, everyone. If I may answer that question, right? My account is a service account, meaning my salary only goes there and I pay my bills. It is not a saving account. So in the event that the money was credited back to my account, it would have been significant. I would have seen it. I could not have missed it. There's no way. You see my eyes, they're big. I would not have missed it. There's no way I could have missed it. And they did that to me in February. That's my 2nd time getting hit. They did that to me in February, but it was a one-off. I thought, I normally, because my salary only goes to the account. My salary only goes to the account. So when I checked in February to see if my salary was there, I see a negative of almost $2,000. I called Anguilla in a frenzy because I was like, "You all stealing from me." They said, "No, go to the bank." I went to the bank. They indicated that it was a transaction for October. Now, I went to my account. Now, I'm thinking that it's just a one-off thing. It's just me. I went to my account. She's saying to me that the debit did not go through. But I'm saying to her that I got an email. I'm not seeing that money back on my account. If in accounting, there's supposed to be a double entry. It's debited, it's supposed to be credited. I'm not seeing any credit. I went to the bank on Monday and I asked, because I wasn't on island when all of this was happening. My husband called me on Monday morning in a frenzy. "Check your account." Check my account is fine. Now I left and I didn't pay my bills. Now my money's supposed to be there for me to pay my bills when I come back. Babes, my account is okay. Tuesday morning he called again in a frenzy. "Check your account." Because I'm checking mine and I'm seeing mine is in error. I check my account. My account is in error of almost $5,000. Now I'm not on island. Okay. But I can't, listen, and the amounts that they are charging me for is Anguilla. And you know Anguilla are cheap. So there's no way I could miss it. It wasn't $10. It was thousands of dollars. So how am I missing it?
Well, you know, are you going to give me this story that I want you to give me? Because you are the person I was coming to a long time ago. So after Shan gives her story, because her story is going to enlighten a lot of us in here. So please, give your story.
Good evening, everyone. So when I actually hear you guys talking about the second wave that's coming, I believe that the second wave is what I noticed when we swipe our card at the gas station just below Road School. Yeah, the gas station down there. We would swipe our card for 40 US to get gas. When you get your slip, it says 40 US, but when you check your online banking, it's debiting 40 EC. So we were like, what? We keep doing this. We said, no man, something wrong. We went back again. So I didn't notify the bank, but I notified the gas station because I said they got to be losing millions of dollars. We did that, and I didn't really get nowhere with them. But I noticed that when I check my account, there is nothing coming out for the EC to US conversion that I know was an error with the bank. However, Tara would know I don't buy cell phones because they're expensive. Tara and Al donated me a cell phone once. But for my 30th birthday, I said I'm gonna treat myself with a cell phone. Here I am, Best Buy, New York. Apparently, Best Buy doesn't be accepted with NCBA. They have it blocked. I went, used my birthday present, bought a phone, and here it is, Republic Bank telling me that I can get my phone because that's what they're double charging me for. That's one of my negatives. We're building Anguilla masonry, who pour my concrete, who ain't gonna bring me my concrete unless it get
get paid, they're telling me that I'm debited for that. Anyhow, last night, it's getting so serious that last night I had to ask my husband to come check my blood pressure because this is ridiculously crazy. They have our account between me and my husband, 10,000 US dollars in the negative. In the negative. Just crushing dreams and aspirations that you're trying to get places with, that I can't even see the money coming back in on the account. I ain't even went in the bank because I said I'm gonna lose my salvation. I can't go in the bank because they might make me sin my soul. And he keeps saying, don't worry, babe, we ain't paying back a cent. So what is it for us who ain't paying back a cent? Because, babe, we ain't paying back a cent. We cannot see. So today, my account is in the negative. My mom was not affected. She stated that she went into the bank to close her account. They told my mom, well, okay, first of all, my first job was at the Scotia Bank when I finished school. So 17 years old, so my mom had to be on my account because I was too young. So my mom was on my account. Her account, they told her, you cannot close your account. Why can't you close your account? You can't close it because you sign on your daughter account and she's in a negative. So you have to clear her account first before you account. Now, I don't sign on my mother account, but my mother sign on my account for my negative. My mother told them, if you touch a cent, I'm gonna get a lawyer for you. So they told her she can't close it because she didn't have her passport. So I'll have to update you guys. Money off the account. But currently, that's my situation. So, you're gonna be fast? Because we got to wrap up. We gotta.
Good evening, everyone. It's unfortunate what's happened to most persons who've been.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Unfortunate what's happened to most people. I wasn't affected, thankfully, but I can imagine how you all are feeling. To get anything done and rectified here, we need to review the banking laws that currently govern our banking sector in Anguilla. The ECCB accountable so that they can hold the banks accountable for what they are doing. We can't keep begging them for our money. This is our money. We put it there, they are our custodians, so we can't keep begging them to give us back our money. They used a couple and they took our monies off. It should be just as easy for them to put it back without us having to beg them. Additionally, if you are not aware, the banks are moving towards digitization. I don't know how many of you noticed that in April, thereabouts, they had this big drive on the website saying, you know, go digital, get your online. And I believe that what's happened is that through their digitization and the use of artificial intelligence, it's messed up everything, and they are unwilling to take accountability for what they do. So we need to stop begging and tell them this is the way it needs to get done, you know? Thank you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect way to end because, like Kimberly mentioned, our laws for banking, one, is one of the biggest issues. And we need to hold ECCB accountable for them to do the job that they are supposed to do. I will now turn it over to our lovely moderators, even though...
Well, this is the official end. Thank you all for coming out. Again, we've heard the real stories. Those who are not worried are obviously successful outcome. Have a pleasant